is there particular groups of people by age, by gender, by race that are more likely than not likely than others?
Yeah, I would say it tends to be a disease that's universal, first of all. Chinese get it, Israelis get it, North Americans get it, South Americans get it. But there are families where you have a history of this, just as there are certain families that have a history of cancer. And in fact, the genomic biologists, the DNA biologists who are now looking at the code in people, have discovered a number of markers that can be inherited that make you prone to this disease. For example, many families, my own included, have a tendency to high blood pressure. Many families have a tendency to high blood cholesterol. So that you could have two individuals eating the same diet and one that has a family history that the they're producing lots of cholesterol in their blood and the other person may not. There are, as you know, differences. Some people get fat very easily. And when people get very fat, that means that pushes them in the direction of developing so-called type 2 diabetes. Not the childhood diabetes, but the adult form of diabetes. That diabetic state damages the blood vessel walls and starts the hardening of the arteries process. Just as having a high cholesterol, smoking cigarettes, uncontrolled high blood pressure, these are the major factors. But what plays into that, of course, is the lifestyle. What are you eating? How active are you? And of course, are you eating a healthy diet or are you eating a diet that's very unhealthy? And we'll talk a little bit about that later, about what's unhealthy in the diet.
Okay. And so it sounds like, to sum up what you're saying, is there's clearly genetic factors to it, but there's also lifestyle factors. So a lot of chronic illnesses, just like them, it's nature and nurture together.
Absolutely. When I was younger and in school, there were these big debates about how much was nature, how much was inherited, and how much was nurture. I think the nice thing is it turns out it's complete interaction. The joke I always tell people is, those two snakes entwined on the symbol of doctors? That's nature and nurture. And in fact, we used to think, oh, well, nurture did something, to the body, but the blueprint code, the DNA, was unchangeable. We now know, no, the environment can actually change, as you know, can change the DNA code. So the two are going back and forth, interacting constantly with each other.
So it sounds like one of the messages for somebody who's got a strong family history of heart disease is it doesn't have to happen to you too if you take the right steps in terms of what it's done.
Absolutely. And the opposite. Even if your family has no history of it, you're smoking 2 cigarettes a day, you're eating all kinds of bad things, you're getting fat, you're not exercising, you could have a heart attack at a young age, even though your family tendency is not in that direction.